10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good afternoon, everybody. I would say welcome back to Bubble Chat Season 2. And of course, we are at episode 9. So 9, of course, is an infinite number. So we successfully completed Season 1 at 10 episodes. In second season, we are already at 9 episodes. So today, on the 9th episode, we have a special guest, Dr. Charan. So all of you know Dr. Charan already. So we had one session with him in the last season. We had one already a master class in the month of October. So we are lucky to have him third time with us. And today we are discussing the most important topic of the country, of the industry, or I would say which all of us have. That's a talent bank. So before we start the topic, give a big round of applause for Dr. Ram.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Welcome, Dr. Ram. Welcome to India. Welcome to the so-called booming economy and the happening place of the world. So before we get into this talent discussion, I would like to throw some light on the India story.
Thank you.
You can keep the mic closer to you.
Yeah. So as I travel around the world almost weekly, I call India is on fire. It has a lot of energy. It is breaking new ground. There's a new confidence here. We're having people coming out that we did not know they were experts. We have more athletes coming out we never knew they existed. The world recognition has been increasing. The seeds of 10% per annum growth in GDP are now have been sown. Newspaper talking 7, I'm talking 10. I'm clear. 10% GDP growth in 7 years doubles the GDP. Most people agree current GDP in dollar terms is $3.5 trillion. In 7 years, doubling is a huge thing. In 14 years, quadrupling it. That's India. I am hard pressed to tell you another country that comes even close to it. But I don't want to compare with other countries. We have this motto in my early days of training in Sanskrit. You compare to where your destiny is going to be. You compare to the destiny you want to shape. Our Prime Minister had the courage to announce a goal for GDP. When you announce a goal as a leader, people align their energy. It's in a democratic country. It's not a Hitler-type dictator country. It is getting energies of everybody. It is not some leader is going to be permanent all his life. As I see from outside, our Prime Minister has already been moving to create next generation of leaders. That's leadership.
Great. So, Dr. Ram, I was just curious that when we traveled abroad, and of course, a couple of years ago, till I would say maybe a decade ago, we were always looked upon as a so-called a second-class citizens for that matter, or maybe Indian economy was not even in decimals. So is there any change in the global perception when people are looking to buy things from India or say import out of India, or maybe just take India as a base?
Yes. So the first part is, you see, I left India in 1959. So I have a bit of a history across the globe.
Yes, certainly, certainly.
Australia, Europe, United States, countries in Latin America, Japan, just about every major country, Soviet Union, and so on. My argument is we should not bring the past back.
Okay.
We go forward. There may be lessons that we don't repeat what we do. Now, history is over. Going forward, there are huge opportunities. They are being defined. They are declared almost every day.
Yep.
I am privy to. Foreigners want to come here. You are privy to, they want to come here.
Yep.
And you know why? This is the country of the largest reliable talent.
3 cheers for India, I think. Largest reliable talent. Part of it.
Our born Indians in India today run companies that exceed the GDP of many, many countries. They are coming here and they're saying, we will be part of taking India to the next level. And they will. Our culture has been that way. This is our heritage.
I think in many of the top global companies, I don't know the count, maybe at least top 20 companies, more than 50% of the companies have got Indian CEOs.
Absolutely.
And that
now I have
trend is
25,
here.
now I have 25 names.
So that 25 names is enough.
Mr. Nadella runs a $2 trillion company. Not many countries have $2 trillion GDP.
Yeah,
A $2 trillion versus $3.5 trillion for us. You only need one more of those.
yeah.
They know how to lead, run a $2 trillion global companies
And grow.
and grow. We have a leader in Prime Minister Modi who is leading, managing politically, democratically, the most complex culture, most complex laws, and building a future for all of us.
Yes, it was complex. He's trying to simplify perhaps.
He is.
I don't know how much will be simplified.
He
but yes.
is.
Good. So Dr. Ram, just taking the clue from like many of our Indian counterparts are leading the foreign companies. What do you think, what is that killer instinct? What is that makes them different from what we have here?
No, I think you see, within a country, there are lots of variations. We have them too.
Yeah.
So I go to Brazil, I worked with them for 35 years, and their culture has grown differently.
Okay.
They are also business people. They are also artists.
Can I keep the mic?
Yeah, artists. Now the key point I want to make is that the leadership of the nation matters. There was a time for 8 years where President Lula, despite all the political negatives, corruption, he took Brazil to a high level economically. And then his successor, things did not work out. He's back now. So there's a setback.
Okay.
So we got to go our own way. One of the most critical part of Indian culture, we adopt, we welcome different people, diverse people. We are very tolerant. That's our culture. It's huge. Within our culture, we have diversity. The kind of cognition people have in Odisha is not the same as the cognition in the south of India. It's diversified. It's built in. It's fantastic.
Over there, they have to teach diversity. So, but we live in diversity from day one. So we live in all these ups
We
and
live
downs.
it.
Yeah, we have 15 national languages and maybe 400 languages.
We live it. But again, let them do what they're doing.
Yep.
We collaborate, we trade, we learn, we let them learn.
Good.
In our culture, we don't impose ourselves on any other culture. Think of how many cultures want to impose on other cultures.
Yeah.
That's us. Now it's going to be recognized. It's going to move forward.
Good. So coming to the topic of the day, so that is the talent bank, and I want to a little more, I would say, expand on this topic. How do you name this topic? I formally asked him what should be the topic. He said talent bank. It's difficult for me to understand. The way we understand bank means we have some surplus lying. So I had to tell him we struggle for even the basic talent. You're talking of a bank. Then he says, yes, we will talk about it. So when he said talent bank, doctor, how are we trying to differentiate?
So much you know. Excuse me. What makes us different, human beings, against the other species? Intelligence,
Yep.
continuous learning, and the most critical ingredient, we collaborate to produce something. Even though fight, we have all the, but the net part is we collaborate to do something, because being alone, you can't get anywhere. That's what we are. And so we're saying that to collaborate and so on, all historically, there have been leaders of people. You go to the tribes, old days, go anywhere, you go to Panchayat in my old days,
It's still there.
it's still there, they're leaders. They may not be appointed, they may be elected, they may have earned it, they may not have earned it. So the first point is whether you are a prime minister, whether you are a general in an army, whether you are a president of a university, take any human endeavor, whether you are a cricket team, you have a captain.
Yep.
So the leadership is first and foremost is leadership of people. No people working with you, you can still be a leader, but that is separate. Many religious leaders had no people working with them, and they were great impact, and they were regarded as leaders. I happen to think Swami Vivekananda,
Yep.
I regard him as a leader. I do. But look at the influence he had.
He was an influencer, may not be a leader, but
Yeah.
he's been able to influence people.
But the reason
The
I say
thought
that in
process.
the American scene,
Yeah.
you have this gentleman. He is regarded as a leader, influencing Washington White House.
Yeah.
They call leader. Martin Luther King was called leader. So you can be an individual leader that influences people.
But you're saying managing people is the
Managing people is when you have people working with you. And so here you as a leader, you kindling the fire in people, getting them to see where they don't see. Getting them to have conviction that what they have is not even utilized in a small proportion.
So do you think that it's the human being is underutilized? Do you think that the talent or the human
I can tell you about myself. I don't think I am even 4% utilized here.
so we have an opportunity to expand our mental
Every one of
capacity?
us. You know why? It expands. Automatic, it expands. There's no limit to it. See, what is the difference in a Nobel Prize winner and an ordinary teacher? Is neck and above.
Yeah. The
They
whole
may
body
be
same.
lucky. They may be lucky, yes. They got the right mentor, right thesis, right thing, yes. But that is difference is neck and above. I go to bazaars, I watch people cleaning floors. I sit down with them on the floor, even today. And I say, here is a young man, 26 years of age. Bhai, kahan paida hue? I strike this conversation. And then I say, he's good, he's sharp. He's about the same weight I am. But he did not get the opportunity to open this one up.
Yeah. So it's the right opportunity at the right time.
It's good to come there. So now I come to your question. You can be very bright. You can be number one in class. That's good. What we have as leaders and managers is to take your people to what they have not dreamed and they can do. Open their eyes, show them, train them. We all want to grow. This is our culture. You go down to villages, and the poor person who's got to make a day in living. So I hope one of my children will get out to education.
Yes, he works day and night because he wants
we
his
got
kids to go to school.
Go do that. So the talent bank idea here is that each of us who are leaders, managers, you have number of people working with you. Some are direct reports.
Yep.
Start that with the notion it is a talent bank. How do we nurture it? I'm going to give you some tools.
Yep.
Many of you, many of us do not pay enough attention to it. But let's look at it, who does? In basketball, does the coach pay attention to what the talent bank is?
Yes, he is concerned with every single player.
Not just talent bank, But the talent bank that can synchronize at high speed,
Yes.
does he know each of the players without a PowerPoint?
Without a PowerPoint, yes.
Nothing in the diary?
No.
Know your people without a diary, without a PowerPoint. Know the person in a precise way. Those coaches do. All sports. Because when they play, it is totally transparent. Everybody can see that. So here, if you have 5 people working with you, you regard that as a very precious talent bank. Get to know each other. And then say, how could I take each of these people to new heights? If they love their job, if they love to work with you, if they love that you learn from you, they learn from you. They don't need motivation. They are motivated. You make them successful in the legitimate sense. Success, if recognized, is the greatest driver of motivation.
Nothing
As a talent
succeeds
bank-
like success. Nothing succeeds like success.
Exactly. Talent bank, you leaders, you figure out how each of them legitimately succeeding and smelling success. Sometimes watch the football games of Europe very carefully. When somebody scores a goal, look at the speed and energy that person runs back from the goal. That is such a clear evidence what the energy comes.
And then everybody comes and flocks together and everybody comes
Yeah.
and gives hugs to them. So.
Yeah, but watch the one who scores the goal and runs. We do that. So the tool number 1, you know each person. What do you want to know? What is this person's God's gift? All of us, all have a God's gift. You tell me anybody who is failing, I will see him. I'll show his God's gift. We are born with one, maybe 2, maybe 3. Fish it out. They all have it. They didn't get a chance, didn't articulate. Family came in the way. Yes, all impediments, but they all do. And you're watching that now. What is the show? Amitabh Bachchan, Kaun Banega Crorepati?
Yes.
Do you see those people?
Yeah.
Where the hell were they?
Simple village guys coming up and becoming crorpatis.
They search them out. They show people, search these people out. They're there. And they get a chance. Sometimes I put the TV on or somewhere on some of these song competitions.
Yes, Indian Idol.
I have to tell you, they're very good. They get a chance. So the rule number 1, you look for somebody's natural talent. I happen to think about Tendulkar. I think he has a natural talent. He worked hard, he improved it, he practiced it. He deserves all the accolades. But he's not a good captain. We know that. And so if you are really interested, you don't have to memorize that. Nobody has 29 God's gifts. It's only one or two. And then see how do you expand them. Don't yet focus on negatives. There is nobody who doesn't have a negative. None. But if I know that if Tendulkar is a batsman, we expand, I want to focus his energy on betting, even though he may be negative in something else. That's your job, to restructure the job. I do that for the sons of some of the billionaires. Save them. I have one where somebody had getting a master's degree, MBA from a great university from United States, sitting at home. In a family of that caliber, sitting at home is a very embarrassing thing. Yeah. We found a way to structure the job, and it's now flying high. That's your job. Nobody.
So identify the God's gift and structure the job according
Structure the job. And you say, I love it. I can't get out of bed. You are then succeeding.
Provided we have a compulsion, like you gave an example of billionaire's son, so probably there's a chemistry and a compulsion there. But
No, I can tell you more without naming them. This is the first time I'm meeting.
Okay.
Three brothers. Eldest is the MD. Other two have other things. And we talk about the business, and then towards the afternoon he says, well, I want you to meet my nephew, who's from the second brother. Shy, sitting there. And so now I'm told the history. And you can see how dejected he is.
Okay. From the body language, you can read.
So excuse the uncle.
Okay.
I want to talk to him. So I figured out what he learned, which is school. I happen to know a number of his instructors.
Okay.
So I figured out that the business what his family has is not quite to his.
Taste or choice, maybe.
Not only that, his standard.
Okay.
So I spent 3-4 hours, and lucky for me, I figured it out. So I called the uncle. They own the business, so when the uncle say do something, it's going to be done. So I said, please call the general manager. He does, obviously. And general manager knows he's going to play the ball. He also wants to help him too, because eventually he's going to inherit portion of the business, give and take.
Yep.
So I designed the job for him, and I asked him, I said, would you go to the factory at 2:30 in the morning? He said, oh yes. I said, are you serious? He said, count on it. I said, this is what you got to do. Would you like it? He said, oh yeah, I'll give it a shot. I got a report every week in the morning, 2:30 he shows up. In 90 days, he finished the pilot. 1 year, he saved 10% of the cost. So I met the uncle last week, and he said, oh yes, it's flying high, so everything is okay, fantastic.
Lovely.
That's the joy of life.
So it means you need to talk, you need to listen, you need to understand, and we just can't leave them alone.
Developing, training people to take into the future is a very joyous thing to do.
I know, Doctor, we can go rounds and rounds and miles. I just have a very quick question. Many a time I say, oh, we got 10 people and I got maybe only 2 right. Right means to the best of performance and everything. So, open question. What do I do with those 8 and what do I do with those 2?
Yeah. So,
It's a just generic question.
no. Just repeat the question again, please.
I got 10 people reporting to me.
Yes.
And in my assessment, only 2 people, 2 out of the 10 are up to the date, up to mark. Maybe completing targets or whatever parameters say I like. I mean the boss likes. And 8 of them are, like you said, dejected or not getting enough attention and not being developed. So, as a boss, what do I do with those 8 people? And how do I handle those two people who are doing
Yeah.
sufficiently well?
Yeah, the first thing I want you to think about, take it out of your mind, I'm the boss.
That's right.
You're a leader.
It's point
Today
taken.
you are boss, tomorrow you may not be the boss.
Perfect. So the first
Second,
point. Yeah.
you have an accountability to deliver.
Yeah.
What about the accountability? Third, you take those 2 people and you learn what is it you do, they do, that you consider they're excellent. It's both ways.
Okay.
Because their talent fits with the job structure they have, that fits for you to deliver your accountability.
Okay. Yeah, there is a synergy.
You do that. Now the other 8, you got to first look at each of them. How good a fit of what their natural talent and what the job structure is. And you will have to modify it.
Retrofit.
But out of the 8, there could be 2 or 3 who really don't belong here. So it's not a good idea to waste their life. If they are in the wrong job, they're wasting their life. Now you've got to counsel them, help them, and find where their talent fits.
I got your point.
Help them do that. That's what I do. In my life, I've done that, where I've taken a division manager who's failing with the knowledge of the CEO and taking him elsewhere, he becomes a CEO. I said, you got a problem here. This is a good person, he knows what he's doing. But it's in the wrong industry.
Yeah, we have many cases. People have left us and they were probably underperforming under their circumstances. But in other places, some places they have gone, maybe they had
done
better
very well.
structure and they have
They
performed
do
well.
that.
So I was just wondering that is there any mathematical or I would say statistical way? Okay, how do we find? I just said arbitrarily 2 are right or 2 are wrong. What does it mean right or wrong? How do I assess? Is there any talent parameter or there's any thermometer by which we can check?
I think the algorithms are coming, but right now we got to go with our own ability to extract information from each person. And then see what are the facts behind it. And then you're making a judgment.
Yeah.
Even then you can use a hypothesis and say, let me test that. So I've seen people in the founders in the early days say, here is this person, I think I'm going to try to send him there. I think he has a potential. People do that. So that kind of a thing is still there. That we do that. And it's being done in companies even now, despite all the professionalism. That I think I'd better test him there. Those things will continue.
Good. So I think that is what we are discussing about individual teams. Now coming one level high or maybe coming at the top of the business. So I'm just trying to understand, and maybe for everybody's benefit, today in a changing world where technology is playing a big game,
Yes.
and of course every day new things are coming up. So do you think that people element is still important, or technology is going to overlay it? That this big news about AI is coming. So where is the human being here?
I want to be very direct on it.
Yep.
There is no substitute for human beings. Technology enables them. Yes, there are jobs that will be eliminated. We are not eliminating human beings. Let that be very clear.
Certain positions may be reshuffled, maybe.
No, we train them. We're going to do some other things. We may take a human being out of a job. Let me repeat. We eliminate jobs. We don't eliminate human beings.
Good. So
We
between
have done that for centuries. Human beings may be out of a job for a time being.
that's right.
Yes. This is not the first time that we have had the issue. A new technology comes in and some jobs will be eliminated. And there is a reason for it. With the elimination of those jobs, something new comes in, new demand comes in, new opportunities come in. People move. So that's the part of it.
That way, I would say I will take an example. For example, in a typical labor-intensive industry, say construction, everything was being done manual. Now we have machines doing everything. So because we needed machine because it was very laborious and very ineffective, very slow process. Now machines, all these JCBs and cranes, they come and do it very fast, and there's no harm in that. But taking a clue forward, we are discussing that, okay, human being cannot be replaced, but still human being is the most difficult part. So I want to understand about training and development part.
Sure.
So if I have to do the talent development, like you said, use the word talent bank. So which is the first department or the first area we should start from? And why is that?
Yeah, see, each of us leaders has to consider seriously that your success depends on the people reporting to you. Clear?
Your success depends on people reporting to you, not on you. So you can blame people and go. That's what we are doing every day.
So if you getting the right people, training the right people, getting the right kind of a job structure, etc., is your accountability. You're making mistakes, correct them. We don't have 100% way to do it right. My feeling is we never will have 100% doing it right. So you improve your batting average. You do that. And so I see people driven to do other things. So I used to work for a CEO. His first thing was every morning for 15 minutes, he will review about the people. He will say, today I need to kind of coach this person. Very busy man. But he knew the reward of coaching was huge. Was huge. First, the guy being coached become very loyal to the person. Very loyal. Very flattered, the boss will do that. Second, the joy to the coach, he sees the difference.
Yeah. He knows that I trained him and he's working better.
It's just a difference. Listen, all of you do for our children, don't we? And you see the joy when the child
starts walking or takes steps.
I mean, here.
Yeah. I would say here that many a time when you said review, when we talk of a annual review, quarterly review, it's not considered very positive. I mean, it's being said that we are being audited.
Yeah, yeah.
So people say we shouldn't be questioned.
Yeah. So this
So
is
it's a very
an
thin
old-
line we have to cross. I mean, every day we can't ask also, what is that? How do we cross that barrier?
This is an old American stuff. How many coaches wait for the year to give the coaching?
They'll be fired by
They'll be fired.
They have to do it every day.
In making a film, do you wait for coaching at the end of the film?
Every scene, they cut till the time they get it right. Retake.
In universities, as bad as it is, do they give quizzes in between?
Yes, quizzes, prelims, everything.
So some of the best CEOs I've known, they give coaching on the spot or within 24 hours. I'll give you one. This is around 1995. And I was invited to go and make a presentation in Beijing by the chairman of a company called Alcoa, Aluminum Company of America. In those days, number one in the world. And the CEO is a Brazilian. So the normal procedure is I will sit next to the CEO, and they had a day-long presentation. And so I already made my presentation. It's a round table, and the last presentation was made by Alcoa employee, Charles, who was president of Alcoa China.
Okay.
And so he made a presentation, and I thought it was fantastic. And I'm watching the other 9 people. And I kept saying, they all like it. The boss too likes it. Finished, everybody applauded. Alan Belda, the CEO, motioned me to come, motioned Charles to come. He puts his arm around Charles. And he said, Charles, was a great presentation. Had you taken the purchasing power of renminbi into account, would your conclusions have been different?
Yeah. So RMB is a
There's no way he will ever forget it. That his whole presentation fell apart because he did not take the right currency. That's coaching. That's feedback. His eyes open. The best feedback is around the spot, on the spot, very specific. And the guy says, why did I do it? I better do this better. The annual performance thing became because of bureaucracy. Large scale companies begin to do that. And then we put a lot of systems behind it. And then we say you're allowed to give only 5% increase, you get 2%, you get 3%, you get none, you've got to distribute it.
It became very mechanical.
Not only that, it destroys morale.
Yeah.
And so this is the phenomenon of large companies. And people live with it. I say, if you don't like it.
Small companies try to copy that. Small companies try to copy that.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
They feel pride in having big systems.
Not a good idea. No.
So how do you think, how should we evaluate people then?
No, the key point is, first, do you set the right goals? I don't think you do.
Setting the right goals. Okay.
I see some of the blunders in the public goals. Second, have you talked to them how they're going to do it?
Okay.
Third, did you make sure they have the right tools? Go there, get the inputs to be better. Outcomes will come. And then you say, okay, how well this person is doing. You don't have to have the Jack Welch's created normal curve. The evaluation purpose, first and foremost, is to help the person become better.
Yep.
Now you're saying, how do I divide the pie? That's what you're doing, the evaluation.
True.
Most evaluations are not to make him better.
So most of the time we expect people to perform, and I'm saying when we means all the team leaders. So we expect people to perform, and of course they may be handicapped for one reason or the other. And most of the time, the so-called the manager says, "It's not my problem; it's your problem. I have hired you for this.
But change
This
the
is your
manager.
accountability."
Change the manager. He's accountable for the person.
He's accountable for that person.
Absolutely.
But he says, "I am accountable for the job, but this guy is not able.
No.
Not,
You are the CEO. Face it. You don't want an idiot running a person who says, I'm not responsible for people.
So the boss, whosoever of that department,
No,
I'm using
you gotta
that
confront.
common
Let me
generic.
go back first.
Yeah.
Your feedback to the person is as it is happening.
Yep.
It's not performing, wait for the whole year.
I am a big proponent of this so-called online appraisals.
You got it.
24/7.
You got it.
There's nothing like a monthly, quarterly. Business is happening every day. I can't wait for one
You
year.
got it.
But I don't think anybody wants regular
Okay.
appraisals. People want once in a year, and maybe
Okay.
they get increment letter. That's all.
And you should be able to see as you move along, is this person progressing or declining
Yeah.
or steady? But I never, and you know, select CEOs across the globe. I have a rule. I will never select a CEO who cannot execute and who cannot develop people.
So help me understand now, since we're talking CEO versus development of people. Typically, and maybe we are sitting in the wrong end of the industry. Typically, people say, HR ne ye nahi kiya, HR ne wo nahi kiya. The CEO doesn't take a responsibility to the people, and they start blaming the HR. And the poor guy doesn't know what he wants to train. The CEO knows the business. HR guy doesn't know the business. So how do we resolve this
No,
dichotomy?
So let's go to this straight.
Yeah.
You, as the founder, put the line person in charge of people,
Okay.
period. The line person needs help from HR, get it.
HR can be a service department.
I didn't say that. Line person needs help, get it.
Okay.
And then you ask the HR person, why should you keep you?
True.
How many HR people here?
We have talent acquisition.
We should ask the question, why should you keep you? Because you have something to contribute. We want to know that.
Can we give Mike?
The reason you put on the line person,
Yeah.
because the person is responding to the assignments by the line person.
Yeah.
Okay? So HR people have something to contribute.
Vikas, can you highlight what HR contributes?
Absolutely, sir. So when
Please
we
stand.
Stand.
so absolutely, sir. So HR has to play a very crucial role in developing the business.
Say it again.
So HR is a very crucial department. I mean, when we talk about HR is
Forget these buzzwords. Tell me what you do.
okay. As a part of HR, my role is to bring the talent to the organization. When I say talent,
Stay with there. You bring talent to the organization.
correct,
It's visible, it's clear.
true,
I love it. Now I say, do you bring superior talent and lousy talent?
correct,
Do you go to the right places to get the right talent?
yes,
Huge contribution. I like that. But you are in charge for that talent to grow them, to get them the right job structure, feedback. You need help from him, call him.
Yeah. Similarly, the example is training. Now, the
Training. You need
training guys are typically.
He gets best trainer for you.
correct,
So we have a training manager. He keeps sessions and he keeps sending invites, and there's a struggle to get 20, 30
Now-
people.
Yeah, and I give you a terrible case. This year, he recruited 6 people for me. None of the 6 work out. I've got a problem. That's what you do. So you don't fire him. You first, within the month, say, these 2 guys not working out, talk to him and say, what are you going to do differently? If you didn't give him the feedback, you're not doing a good job.
So finding, training, developing people is business CEO's job. HR can help. Is that right?
Not only that, I want to tell you a couple of things. If you're not training yourself in something, you will be left behind. I use the word training. In sports, what do? They develop or train?
Practice.
Train.
Train and then practice.
Entertainment. They train. They rehearse.
Rehearsal.
It's very demanding. These shows we see. So I used to work for Universal Studios. I used to see this. It's very hard work of training. But people love it. This is their game. So my point was training. And particularly if the technology is moving that fast, you got to have training, personal training. Ask HR to organize for you. Find the right kind of trainers, right ways to go at. They'll do that. They know where they are.
Good. So the way I look at it is that since we are saying that it's CEO's business to handle the team and everything, we fully appreciate. Now, I want to understand, okay, within the different businesses, so of course there are various sections, say sales, purchase, research, market, and if we have to start this so-called talent drive, which department would you like to start first?
Say to another, sorry.
I would say that there are different departments in every company,
Sure,
different division, different department within the same business, sales, purchase, account, finance.
Yeah.
What is the most critical department? Is the most crucial?
No, you see, the key point is that each business has, at a given point of time, some skills more category, more critical than others. So, if you take a company that is competing with Amazon head on, a legacy company, and the Amazon or Flipkart have shown that the consumer convenience and delivering on time are central. And your legacy company is not. You better start with the digitization.
Okay.
So, depending on the business, depending on the competition, depending on the customers, see which one at that time is more critical for you, and then you start there.
Good.
You don't have to start just one, you can do couple if necessary. But go with the timing, industry, company, competition, doing that.
We were discussing last week that the focus has to come from revenue generation.
No doubt.
So we should first digitize the sales force or the
Yeah, so in most cases generally, connecting with the customer is imperative because they have shown ease of doing business with the customer, data with the customer, delivering to the customer is the front engine that gives you lots of benefits.
Yep.
So
with
you
every
start there.
generation.
But there are others who started just the other way, depending upon what your criticality is.
Good. So that time is running out, but we still have time for a few questions. So open questions. Anybody? Everybody's dealing with the people. So we expect a lot of questions.
Ask any questions. If you want us to turn the camera off, we can do that. Yeah.
First of all, thanks for this great session. Actually, it's quite eye-opening. So my question is, so normally we do interviews for the...
First, you can tell which department you are handling. Yeah.
Fine. So I am Pankaj. I am taking care of marketing
Yeah.
in the Morepen prescriptions.
Yeah.
So in this, actually, our job is to hire people. For,
Sure.
As we said, we need to check for the talent which
Sure.
is suitable for that particular job. But sometimes in that interview span of 5 to 10 minutes, how to judge if this particular talent is actually suiting our job profile? Because in sometimes in interviews, some people gives very good interviews, but
They
doesn't
love it.
perform at that passion what they
They
say in
love
the interviews. So how to do
They
that?
come prepared.
He said interview span of 5 minutes.
Pankaj,
Yeah.
I want you to think with me a few questions. When you're hiring somebody,
So would you keep the mic with you, sir?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What is the end outcome you hope to have?
So like we have a certain job profile defined. Suppose if
No. You are a leader. Are you going to interview somebody? That's a given. But once you finish all those interviews, you want to achieve something. What is it?
the right talent on the board,
I get the right person.
yes.
If you didn't get it, how do you feel?
That I feel happy. Yeah, yes, I got a talent what I am looking for.
No,
More sales.
no, go further. You want the right person. And when you find out you did not, how do you feel?
Sorry, come again. First, I need to nurture him.
No, you failed.
Okay.
Market. You failed. There's only two outcomes. Do you want to fail?
No.
So what should you do?
I need
5 minutes, do they tell you anything? You really think so?
No. 5 minutes is just an example.
No.
Spam.
Stay with that.
Okay.
Recruiting people is your major job. You have to be genius to figure out in 5 minutes and be right. You're deceiving yourself. Maybe lucky. So you say, if I get the right one for me.
Okay.
If I'm the wrong one, I failed.
Okay.
In sports, the failure is within seconds when the captain makes a decision to put the wrong person in betting. That's your responsibility. Now I take you through. You hiring a marketing person. So you have to first define exactly what he will do, she will do in the first few months. Very clearly. Not some fancy big stuff. Most people fail on that. They talk two generalities. Once you have that clear, then you're looking into this person and tell him this is what I want you to do. And then you say, if you can't do it, we will know in 1 month. Your life will be more miserable than the company. Tell us the truth. Engage. How have you done? Where have you done? We don't expect you to be perfect. But we just want to know, would you love doing this? You will need support, we're going to give it to you. Many people will tell you this, unless they're desperate for a job or something, and say, yeah, I think I can, I think I cannot. And then you give them some test on that particular part of it, in a constructive way, not in the insulting way. And you watch, are they enjoying doing it? If it is natural, you will see that. If they are struggling, you will see that. You see, your highest leverage is hiring those people. And if you're making mistakes, it's going to hurt you. We will make mistakes. It's going to happen. The key is to figure out what is it you want them to do very specifically. Can the other person understand it, what you're talking about? And you will see that very quickly in their face, naturally. And then go, but remember, you've got to spend 3-4 hours in the interview.
3-4 hours for one interview.
It's high responsibility. Because the other person wants to know, are you going to be a good boss? You want to attract them. It's a major responsibility.
I think we should first, like you said, have a clear roadmap, very specific. What do we want from that person? Most of the job profiles or these job descriptions which are made are very, very general. And they talk very high level things, short term, long term, and they are looking for somebody who knows everything, who is best traits. But you should know specifically you need a person who can perform these 5 tasks in next 3 months. And you can look into the eyes of that person and see, okay, this is the guy who will be ready to do these 5 things in next 3 months. If it's able to do it, it's fine. Otherwise, don't wait for 6 months of probation period. 6 months is half of the year. Even 3 months also doesn't mean 3 months. You will come to know within 1 month how is it going. If it is not going, take a call. That's what he's saying, that we have to keep investing on that. And your bank balance should grow.
And Pankaj, I saw some other things. The reason for investing time, you can learn something from the candidates. Take advantage. Because they're going to be your subordinate doesn't mean they don't know more than you do.
Yeah, they nicely explain what they have been learning in their other companies.
I've seen people in his position say, I want to learn something from you. You know and I don't know.
Yes, it's a common practice to call people for interviews.
People love that. And they do learn something new.
Good. So we move to the next question. We have one more question, please. Hai nahi? It's okay?
Give it a shot. Make a comment. I want to talk to the money people. I'm very biased towards them.
Mike, Ajay.
Go ahead.
Sir, in fact, in nowadays, everybody knows good thing. The only thing, but I understand that people find it hard to implement. People have high IQ levels. How to really put the things in the perspective and do the thing which is basically practical. Most of the people, most of the leaders know that this is what we want. But they are not able to put forth the point. And they are not able to hire the people. They have something in their mind, but they are not able to really put things on the paper and really hire the people. That is how, particularly in the big organization, there is so much turnaround to the people. People come and go. So how do, as we grow, we have something in our mind. We are coming from, say, 4 decades. But we want that new person should really have that thing. And we judge too early. So how do we really, as we grow, as our nation grow, how do we really hire people? What should teach ourselves that we should really give room to the person, and how much time we should allow to a new person to come in and really take our vibe and to grow that person as well as to grow the nation. The thing which we may not be knowing at this point of time, because as we grow, we understand that we know lot many things, but may not be knowing so many things. So really, how do we really match our expectation? How do we take learning from him and really move the organization forward?
Okay. See, if I didn't get the right, could you come back? Because I just think it's a very, very important question. The first part is that if I'm talking to you and you are not able to get what I'm saying, it's my failure.
That's true.
Perfect.
It's very important.
Yes.
I would repeat that. I'm your boss. I'm talking to you something. You're shaking your head positively. I find out later you didn't get it. It's my failure.
If you're not able to communicate your point or
Yes.
your viewpoint, if you're not able to put across your point
Yes.
to the person,
Yes.
it's your
Yeah.
failure. So
And so I just want you to, I do this for some of the bigger shots in life. I say, no, you're not dumb. You're sincere. There's a reason why you didn't get it. It's not without reason. And I'll give you the reason.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 reasons behind that. So that's first part. The second part is that I am now requiring in many companies the assignment you make has to be in writing. Not just oral.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason for
Yes.
it. Not because the guy is dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Forget the word dumb. I just don't
Yes.
have to repeat that.
That's true.
Good guy wants to do the right thing, so on. And I'll give you reasons why it has to be in writing. The third part is, you got my point, you got the assignment. But I find you cannot execute. That's the third part of it. These things happen. So, take the first part. I said something, you didn't get it. It's my failure. Not that you're a bad guy. No. It's because you have a way of thinking
That's true.
that did not hook
Yeah, with that
what
lie.
I'm saying.
That's true. Most of the
I
time is this.
did not take the time and say, what do you think what I said? So can we improve it? So it's now coming out what you got. And I'm telling you that in a hurry.
Yes.
I can't wait to get the hell out. So we call that as a frame of reference. So you can almost always predict, not entirely, that a marketing guy talking has a marketing frame of reference. That's what they know. You expect him to pick up a finance thing is a little stretch.
That's true.
So that's the first one. The second one is that it's an arbitrary number, but I can demonstrate. When we talk several minutes, we only pick 30% of it. And within the 30%, we sometimes miss the nuggets.
yeah.
So without the writing, we miss the nuances of the assignment.
Yes.
We write few words, writing very fast. What he meant here. And we then hear the words, not the nuance.
Yes. I think we miss nuances.
Yeah. So you can argue 30, 40%. And I'm no better. If you think I'm better, you're wrong. We all better.
It's like this. Yeah.
Dr. Rom always says take notes. So we are taking notes as we speak. So we
You
always
see,
take notes.
1970, I began to go to London to work with the chairman of Unilever. One chairman, second chairman, third chairman for 20 years. The first one, tall fellow, Turkish, ordinary. Unilever is a big thing.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, particularly in those days.
Even today. I mean.
Even today.
But even those days, my
Yeah.
God, you're talking to the lords, so to speak. But he's an ordinary man, tall fellow, Turkish. Sits down, takes a book out and makes notes. And I'm saying, that's the chairman of Unilever. Second one, takes the book. I said, oh yeah. Meat and potato. They built businesses. They were real chairman. I mean, not the ego of chairman. So now comes the third one. If a person cannot deliver his promise legitimate way, he or she not be in the job of leadership. That's simple. Spare his life and frustration. I'm not against coaching him. He's got to spend a lot of dedication to learn to do that. It's not natural for him. Just the way I say simply for brevity, you don't meet a Tendulkar to be a king.
True.
Not everybody is suited for execution. And not everybody is suited to be Einstein. So we try to find where the natural talent is and find a reasonable fit.
In the morning, he was telling that in case you have tried, tested multiple times, and the person doesn't fit your profile or your taste or your job profile, don't waste his time. Please don't waste his time. So you are wasting his life.
Yes, yes.
His
You are
life.
making his life
Very
miserable.
true.
Ask him to go to the right place.
His life.
He may work better at some other place. He's not
Now
cut
it's very
to that.
different if he's desperate for a job, that's a temporary thing. You help people do that. That's separate.
In fact, we are helping him to really go to the right.
Yeah,
You've seen people, when they're succeeding, they whistle. They sing.
yeah.
You see that in the job. I had a good day, I did fantastic.
Yep.
Can't miss
You
it.
can feel it. You can feel that. Yeah.
You feel it.
Yes.
And you say as a boss, I'm succeeding.
Good, guys. Any more questions? It feels that we all have a happy team. We are all fully satisfied. We don't have any questions. I'm so excited to see that.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, guys. So we had kept earlier a detailed workshop, but since he was not feeling well, so we are keeping it as a talk show only. Otherwise, he wanted to give you detailed lectures and speeches, so we're keeping quiet. Thank you very much.
Can I just one more thing?
Yes, please. Yes.
If you
So
ask my advice,
Mike has to be closer to you. Doctor? Mike.
Yeah, if you ask my advice, I want you to get to know about the God's gift of each of the persons reporting to you. That's it. I don't have to tell you anything. You will carry it on your own without me telling you anything. You do for your children. You go to your sister's house. Ah, what a gifted kid is. I see that in him. Do that with your people.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. See you soon.